Been watching several videos about the recovery of this particular page right here, Shaver Check, best razors, electric razors for men. And if you noticed here, let's see, Onm Rush, they were doing they hit a peak of about 38,000 people a day in July 2023. And then they got hit with the helpful content update and they sunk down to 13,000. This is probably per month. Yeah, this is per month. I'm sorry. 38,000 per month. They dropped about 25,000 views per month. That's pretty significant. And then they recovered and they're back up to 39. So they're actually a little higher, at least as high as they were. Yeah, about 39. So they've totally recovered. Well, how did they do it? And there's been a lot of speculations about it, and it's kind of hard to tell how they did it. But I had a hunch. We've talked about this in a previous video about the point of view of the person writing the article. Just a quick, easy fix. And I believe they did that here. Matter of fact, I'll prove they did that here with data. So let's go. I want to go over here and look at, again, at what Google says about helpful content. And I believe this is the easiest thing you can do to fix your website to recover from the helpful content update. That's not easy to say. Right here it is. Does your content clearly demonstrate firsthand expertise and a depth of knowledge? For example, expertise that comes from actually used a product or service or visiting a place. I mean, they couldn't be more clear on this. You have to be talking from a first-person perspective. You can't use informational approach. You can't use professional. You don't want to use third party. You have to use first person perspective. And there's some other things here that I'm sure they did here, but I guarantee they changed. They doubled down on their perspective. Let's have a look. And what I did was I looked at I went back 1 year to the web archive and I copied all of the text. And then I put it into Word, and then I counted the number of pronouns is what I did. And from a year ago to the current page. And I got a chart here we can look at. And if you look at first of all, on the first column, we have the pronouns, the words I've, and they did use first person perspective a year ago. I want to make that clear. It wasn't third party or anything like that. They've used first person perspective, but they've doubled down on it. So let's look at the count. I'm using the words I've, we, all, I'll, I'd, my, and I. And in the pre-update, they used the word I've 69 times. After the update and with the recovery, they used it 157 times. So they doubled it. We, 678 times. They doubled it to 1,267 times. That's a lot of times. It's a big article, though. I'll, they used 32 times. Current webpage, they used 44. And these figures are rough because it's kind of hard sometimes to count these, especially with we because of the different variations of we and WEs in a lot of words. So we might have got some duplication there. But we've got a general idea here of what's going on. Let's see, I was 19 and it's up to 58. That's triple the amount of times. My 377 to 856. And then that's probably the big one, 1705 up to 3911. So we've got thousands more of first person perspective pronouns. This has got to be clear that this is the way to go, is first person perspective. I do everything first person perspective, or at least from a we perspective. We, we've, us, our, stuff like that. I didn't look up our. Should have did that. But I'm sure, well, we can probably do that right here. Let's do that. What the heck? I'm not going to look at the web archive. It's a little harder to search there. Let's just do it. And our also shows up. Let's in other words, but let's look at that. 886 times. See, it'll show up in your, so it's not exactly accurate. It shows up in a lot of words, so that's probably not something I want to add in there right now. But again, I mean, this is data right here. This is data showing that they went in and they've changed the amount of first person pronouns. Don't know how, don't know why, don't know what they did, but I know that they have changed them. And they may change some other stuff too to help with the helpful content update, but this is something to me that's obvious that you can do on your own websites if you've been hit or going forward so that you won't be hit. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next vid. And by the way, check out my Patreon link in the description if you want tips that you won't get here, you won't get in my group, including how to rank in Google for your business in 24 to 48 hours. That's in there. But check the Patreon below. Appreciate it. Thank you.